And welcome back to part 2 of What If Midoriya Had the Nine-Tailed Fox Kurama inside of him. So the house cleaning for the first part, someone brought up, and it's fair to say that not because Midoriya doesn't have a seal per se on him, he should have access to the full Nine-Tailed Fox's chakra, or at least all of Kurama's in this case. Because we're going from Board to Kurama, it should be all of it. And in theory, he does, but the problem here, would you do some crossover what ifs, particularly one like this, where you're trying to use chakra versus quirks and all that, is that we don't know what even unfiltered Kurama cooperating, what chakra like that would do to someone who's not from that world. Honestly, there's a reason Kurama wasn't sealed inside just anyone. He was sealed inside predominantly Uzumaki's. His first Jinchuriki was Mito, then it was Kushina, and then it was Naruto, and then it was Himawari. Now, we also have the Gold and Silver Brothers who have a portion of Kurama's chakra, but they are apparently descended from Hagoromo himself. At least that's, I believe, what's been confirmed, that they're descended from him, or it's heavily theorized they are. But the point being is that they're all individuals with immense chakra reserves themselves, immense stamina, life force, everything to be able to hold back the chakra along with the seal that's in place. And then have it properly merge with their own chakra. At least that was Naruto's deal. If I were to just suddenly give someone a civilian or a low-level ninja Kurama, even if Kurama's cooperating with them, there's not really any there's no telling what the general effects would be. Kurama even states in the most recent chapters with Himawari that he is more compatible with Himawari than any other Jinchuriki before. So there's a compatibility thing you got to take into consideration here. But because Kurama's cooperative, my middle ground for this is the idea that most likely, even with cooperation, Kurama's chakra is still not natural for Midoriya's body in the least. And particularly in a world that doesn't usually have chakra in it in a general way. And so having Midoriya work up to that, I think, is better. Having his body kind of acclimate to it a bit better, I think, is a good way to temper Midoriya, because otherwise Midoriya would break this story immediately. I'm not saying I'd blitz through the entire story, but I'm just saying Midoriya would not be able to be beaten in this story, period, from the jump. Now, that being said, will Midoriya be growing relatively quickly as he grows to understand One for All and the Fox's chakra more effectively? Absolutely, he'll be growing quickly, but that doesn't inherently mean, you booby, that Midoriya is going to just be, have the full Nine-Tails Fox form under his belt immediately. Also, it should be noted that, unlike Naruto, Midoriya does not have Sage of Six Paths chakra, so he also does not have the chakra seal that Naruto had. The reason... Sorry, I thought I heard something. The reason that Naruto's chakra, Nine-Tails chakra, looks the way it does when he's in the QB, the V1 cloak. Well, not the V1 cloak, but the Kurama chakra mode, and obviously his full Kurama chakra mode, is, I do believe, in part due to how the seal intermingled with his chakra. So, truthfully, I'm not saying, to be fair, we could probably just make an exception here and say that is what Midoriya's full access to his chakra would look like. But that's the thing. It's kind of like what the full access to the chakra would look like. Or in any way, after Midoriya's trained a long time, the KCM1 would be the general form he takes. Anyway, that's just how we're handling it right now. We cut now after the fact, after the training exercise, to, now this is somewhat one of the what ifs where I can address some of the day-in-day life, the slice of life stuff, because Kurama actually would have, a secondary opinion on a lot of the stuff. For example, running for class president. Kurama thinks, don't waste your time with that kid. We got to do more training with One for All. We got to do more training with this. And ultimately, he would yield and say, yeah, Iida's the better option. But then comes the rescue practice, and then the villains attack the UA area. Again, I can never remember what it's called. They should always have that available. But regardless, they would get in there. Now, something that, as people brought up, that I always do forget about Kurama is the negative emotion sensing. I do think that's something Midoriya has here. The problem here is that Bach goes around him all the time, so he's already getting a butt ton of negative emotion in his face. So I actually feel like that would really be a detriment for a good long while, at least when Bach goes around, because he's kind of, let me put it this way, it's kind of like trying to do a radar sweep, and like you see there's like bing, bing, oh, negative emotion, except when the entire thing is lit up. So you hear it, you can sense maybe a stronger negative emotion. Like you could still theoretically sense Shigaraki, but because Byaku is such a dick right now and such an angry guy, he's really going to be screwed over with that danger sense, basically. He, in essence, has a bit of a danger sense, kind of. Not true danger sense, but a kind of a danger sense. Anyway, the villains, get in there. Midoriya tries to get some of Kurama's chakra activated, but they're already sent to different points of the area. Midoriya's on the boat. Midoriya can also sense the villains coming. Mineta obviously throws the balls in there, and they have to decide, okay, what are we gonna do? We have to fight. What can you do? I have an energy. He makes it use. I have an energy based quirk, but I've recently learned I can do this, and I've recently learned I can convert it into physical strength, but it's really hard on my body. I can't really. Still trying to get a work on that. Sue is like, I'm a frog. I can jump really high. I can swim. Oh yeah, I can also turn my stomach inside out, but that's not really useful here. And I get these sticky balls that grow in my head. Ah! And so, the villains come, but Midoriya quickly, activates Kurama, first stage Kurama mode. And to which at this point, he can just hold it indefinitely. He's been practicing a lot. He's also been trying to see if he can use it to kind of maintain One for All, but not to any real success. He can kind of use it to brace himself a little bit, take some of the burden off, but he's still breaking his arm or his finger because he hasn't figured out yet you need to use more smaller amounts of it all over your body. Kurama, though, is very smart enough, I think, to figure this out a little later down the road in this particular video. So Midoriya comes in, he still does the smash, breaks his finger. Luckily, Kurama's already on deck to kind of start to help it recover. The ability to fix a broken finger. We know that Naruto literally was able to seal up a hole inside his chest, luckily because no major internal organs were damaged. When Sakura, to be fair, she's nearly killed him a couple times. When Sasuke put his hand through his chest during the Valley of the End, we know that happened. I would imagine that, now granted, Naruto's recovery time is probably better than Deku's because of being a Uzumaki and stamina, all that, having a bit of a natural healing ability, not healing ability, but just better rate of recovery. But that being said, a broken finger, far easier to fix, I'd imagine, than, say, a giant gaping hole in your sternum or your chest. But you are still having to mend a finger. So I think Kurama, as long as Deku stays in there, his finger would probably heal up a few minutes, probably, like it finally set. Kurama even says as much, get out of here. So they get back. Obviously, Eraserhead is struggling. It's like, oh man, you're so cool, Eraserhead. And, Sue comes in, and obviously Shigaraki comes in. He's about to erase Sue. And just as he's about to do it, and obviously Eraserhead's like trying to stop him, all of a sudden he's just like, you're not touching Sue! You're not touching my friend! And he gets wrapped up in Kurama's chakra, his tail. Now, keep in mind, let's put it this way, Kurama's chakra was corrosive to some degree, but it seemed to lose that ability if it was funneled properly into someone. But that doesn't mean it still wouldn't maybe have a corrosive-esque quality to it to someone they say Midoriya is not on good terms with. And an enemy. So yeah, he grabs it with the tail, and Midoriya's already in one tail state. Now, one tail state at this point is something he can maintain, but it's more difficult. Still, he can maintain it. And just he grabs it and just rushes in, and it's like, well, you're gonna be annoying, aren't you? It's like, you don't know the half of it. And he just throws the Kurama arm right. It's like, Nobu, take care of him. Smash! Boom, and just, lands the shots. Did I control it? No, kid, it was something else. This guy, he absorbed the attack. It's like, wow, that new yield smash. You an All Might fan, kid? Oh, well. Nomu, take care of him. Gotta protect Sue, no matter what. Kurama, how much chakra do you think I handle? I think you can go up to 2 tails, kid, but that's gonna be, I don't think you can handle it. I'm not asking you to handle it. I'm asking you to put it in one shot. And even Kurama's like, Ah, not bad, kid, but we're gonna have to distract this guy. Already, it's like, don't you think I already know that? And all of a sudden, Noma suddenly looks up. Two more Deku appear because he made shadow clones because Kurama taught him that. And while using Kurama's chakra, he can do that. And like I said, while using Kurama's chakra, I think he's kind of permeating his body with the chakra, so it's kind of lingering in there and adapting to his system. So he's slowly building his own chakra, like supply. His own chakra network is kind of coming alive, basically. But the two Dekus come in, they get popped out of existence only for basically to do what Fat Gun did, convert all the power calories chakra, if you will, in this case, into one shot, and all of a sudden you just fire in the spark smash, and this time, even though it still doesn't like hurt Nomu because he can absorb the energy, because it's an energy-based attack along with a shock attack. It does blow him back a decent way. He blew back Nomu, but now, unfortunately, Deku's arm is kind of just done. Just crap. It's like, wow, you're something special, kid. You'd be able to blow back Nomu like that. He was designed to kill All Might himself. Well, I guess we know what we have to do. And it's like, I could get any. Kurama's like trying to really push some more chakra. And it's like he can only handle so much at a time. As he gets Deku back at least to his base chakra form, or base level chakra, like base Kurama, this type of Kurama, and just or chakra level. Like, we're not in a good spot here, kid. I was like, yeah, I know. And all of a sudden, and All Might comes in. I am here. Do not worry, for I am here. And obviously, then everything goes about the same. All Might takes care of him. But now Naruto's a Naruto. I keep doing that because I'm so used to him in the Ninetales. Deku is now a lot more on Shigaraki's radar than he was. I mean, he was still on his radar, but he's a lot more on the radar now. And obviously, he said he's building a shock absorption, not nullification. So there's a limit to what he can take, right? If that's the case, I'll just have to make you go beyond that limit and force you to submit. You may have heard these words before, but burn them into your heart. Go beyond plus ultra. Boom. Sorry, when I can quote him, I gotta quote it. When I get to the United States Dispatch, I still gotta do the United States of Smash. Still awesome. I can do a pretty good All Might, like Chris Sabat? That's his name. I can do a pretty good Chris Sabat because I can do Piccolo. I can do a lot of those guys pretty well. Anyway, Midoriya is still recovering with All Might, and it's like, that was pretty reckless, kid, but you were able to buy enough time for me to get there, and you saved Sue. I did. To which, gotta be a little other change here. Sue actually comes thanks Midoriya. I just want to say thank you for rescuing. It's all right, Sue. Hey, Twitch. At that point, because a lot of them weren't all that comfortable with each other. I mean, they were classmates, they were buddy, but they weren't true friends yet because Sue is always like, call me Sue. My friends call me Sue. He's like, it's all right, Sue. I just wanted to protect you. Yeah, and she actually, I think she smiles, doesn't blush, but she smiles like, you called me Sue. Thank you. It's like, well, I guess we're friends, right? Right. And so there's that. But we're nowhere near done. We're only 13, 14 minutes in, yeah. We got a whole sports festival to talk about. I now think I've hit the sweet point here at how to do the My Hero What Ifs. I gotta do at least 2 main arcs at a time because Deku's influence in a lot of the main arcs is actually very minimal. Someone asked me a question about that in the Q&A, and I'll bring it back up, but it's very clear to me what the pacing issue was initially with the first My Hero What If I did, where he had a combo quirk from his mom and dad. I was treating it like, and I'm using up some time here, but I was treating it like I kind of do with the Naruto arcs, where those arcs go on for a while, and they're actually so much that they can be split up into just multiple what ifs, like multiple parts themselves. Like the Chunin exams arc, well, technically it's 2 different, the Forest of Death, the preliminaries, all that, but the general Chunin exams in total, that goes for like 3 or 4 episodes sometimes. And that's just basically like smaller arcs and one just giant arc. Whereas the entering the UA thing, that takes about 5 minutes to explain, 10 minutes at most. So then I have to include the joint training, like the partner, the hero villain training thing. I always forget what it's called. I wrote it down. Actually, do I have it here? Did I write? I think I wrote it down. No, I wrote it down in a different book. This is the Zonparto book. Why would I have it here? because I also am, spoilers, pre-recording my Zanpakuto later. Um, but yeah, the point is, I gotta do multiple arcs guaranteed in each individual, no matter how detailed they get. So that being said, Midoriya, we know there was about 2 weeks before the UA Sports Festival. You know, Shinso and Squad Class B 1B come in, kind of mock of 1A. Midoriya keeps training, getting better. Now it's at this point Kurama probably basically does what Gran Torino did, kind of explains to Midoriya, okay, I think you need to try this because you're using too much power. You got to try to figure out how to use less power because you're just using it all in one go. You need to figure out how to use less first and then use more. And try not concentrating it because that's like basically funneling the power of a bomb into a pencil point. Theoretically, you could do it, but it's going to explode more times than not. And so that's where full cowling ultimately comes into play. And Midoriya figures out full cowling. He realizes he can do about 5% of one for all right now. Actually, I think he might be able to do more because Kurama's chakra is, like I said, kind of strengthening his body to a certain degree. He's actually realizing he can kind of do more than what he initially thought. So he's now got, so he's maybe more like a 6 or 7. Maybe he's around 8. Let's say 8, because that's where he was after their provisional license exam. So let's put him there. He's a little above average. Beyond that, though, he's getting better with Kurama's chakra. He can do, again, standard chakra cloak. He can probably go up to 4. And at that point, Kurama even says, okay, kid, I think we've hit four tails of the standard cloak form. I'm going to tell you about version 2 now. Version 2? Yeah, it's when you basically put your chakras, normally it's when you put your chakra aside and let my chakra go in. But in this case, I don't really think that's going to be a problem. You see, and I'm pretty much, let me rephrase that. It's going to be a problem. You don't really, even though you seem to be, my chakra seems to be lingering you a little bit every time you use it, which you've been using it a lot. So you seem to be developing your own chakra network. But basically, it gives it, and he explains the abilities of V1. It's like, oh, okay, and he tries it. The problem is like when he first tries it, Midoriya starts screaming, like, "Holy crap, kid! I don't know if your body can really take that." Yeah, the strain. Now, luckily, because Kurama's cooperative with him, there's no burning on his body or anything there. That was one of the that's where the whole corrosive thing comes in, because V2 burned the skin right off of Naruto. But again, he wasn't on good standing terms with the Fox, so that's probably why. So they kind of start practicing with it. I don't think it's burning Midoriya's skin so much as like it's just straining him psychologically, or just is straining his body. His body can only handle so much, even with One for All. So he said, "We'll save it as a last resort. I don't think we can handle this for more than a minute. But the other ones, you seem to be moving along pretty well, kid. Let's try losing that my chakra net without full cowling." And then now they're pretty much just untouchable as speed demons. Quite frankly, the only one who would be faster at this point than him would be him from. Sorry, I thought I heard a car pulling up. Would be him from the Final War, where he had gear shift. Because you don't have really any light speed level feats in My Hero, save for maybe Midoriya with gear shift, and even then that's debatable. But right now, he still would not be light speed. No, he would not be light speed. But with Kurama's chakra, we know what Naruto could do, plus adding on gear shift when you eventually get it, and One for All full cowling, yeah, he would definitely be able to move well beyond light speeds and be fine while doing it. Kurama says, you better get ready for the festival. And he's looking on in his in Midoriya's mind where he is. And he's like, so, you guys going to make yourselves known yet? And the figures just kind of like stay quiet. Like, yeah, no, I didn't think so. You're waiting for something, aren't you? And obviously it's the vestiges there. Now, we would get to the sports festival. In the sports festival, Midoriya reveals full cowling, and he kind of blitzes the sports festival. Like, he really is just... Now, granted, he's not without Kurama's chakra, he's not as fast as, say, Ida is, because in full cowling, he still wasn't as fast as Ida. But with Kurama's chakra, he definitely is. But he's holding off using Kurama's chakra because he doesn't need to show everything off to the people who haven't seen it already. And that being said, he still would finish first just for the reasons he normally would. He actually does the Shadow Clone because he actually has enough chakra to maybe do a Shadow Clone, help him out, boost him, whatever. Unfortunately, that would lead to the, what was it? Is it I can't remember, the battleship? Trojan War? I can't remember what that, basically where they're climbing out, they gotta make like a horse, cavalry fight. I think that's what it's called, the cavalry fight. Now, thank you for the person reminding me it was May on the team. I'm like, how did I forget? I don't know, a crazy scientist chick who we kind of want to date, but no, because she would probably not be a good girlfriend. Let's be honest. Like, let's be actually honest about that. May would probably not be a good girlfriend because she's so obsessed with her work, she would not really have time for you as a boy or girlfriend or partner in general. But yeah, so Midoriya, luckily though, Midoriya having the 9-tailed fox shark and being able to go all the way to 4 tails in the V1 cloak, granted, still takes a bit of effort to maintain it. He probably sticks to maybe 2 tails, means that he has both. He also has the fox tails to protect him, and so he does that. And basically, between that, Dark Shadow, I think it was Uraraka on the team, right? I'm pretty sure it was Uraraka. And in May, yeah, I think they actually are able to protect the #1 headband. Now, granted, that would change, I think, things up a little bit. But I don't know. I have to remember who had what headbands, unfortunately, and I didn't think about that going into this. I'm going to say, though, I don't think it changes it enough to warrant a change in the lineup. But again, I'll reread the chapter in next What If to be sure about that in scenarios where he's able to keep that #1. And so now you would get the fights. And obviously Midoriya's, it's told don't respond to him, but Midoriya obviously, responds to Shinso. It's like, ugh. And Kurama's like, crap, what did he do? Kid, hey, Deku, Midoriya, come on, he's Izuku. Says Genjutsu, and he tries to release him from it. And that's the thing. Kurama could release him from Genjutsu. Shinso's brainwashing isn't Genjutsu. It's a quirk. Genjutsu works by using your chakra on your opponent and basically forcing them to... It's the layman's term, but you have to use chakra with Genjutsu and manipulate your opponent's chakra. That's why you have to disrupt your chakra to dispel Genjutsu. But that's not what's going on here. He's literally mind-controlled at the moment. And the fox is like, okay, maybe if I funnel enough chakra, maybe if I go into V1, it might snap him out of it just briefly. And then all of a sudden, it's like, huh? He sees the lights going, and then the vestiges show up, and then he breaks Midoriya's finger and snaps him out of it. And Kurama's just looking at it, like, now you decide to act. And he's like, leave us alone. And so Midoriya then ultimately beats Shinso. He still gets the applause, Shinso, and Midoriya still gets his applause. Fingers healed up. Now, does Endeavor have that little encounter with Midoriya, saying your powers seem to be like All Might. All Might takes an interest in you. Good. You'll be a good benchmark for my son. I'm not All Might. I know that. No, and Shoto, he's not you. And so, Endeavor just looks on, and they're squaring off. And Shoto throws out the ice. Midoriya just gets out of the way. He's already in for V1 because he's like, my normal chakra mode, I don't think it's gonna be enough for Shoto. And Kurama's like, yeah, probably. Make some shadow clones. Probably about half a dozen. And they just start rushing it. And Shoto takes us. He's moving fast. He's fast. Ice shield. Pops a bunch of the clones. Midoriya comes in. Smashes through. You're gonna come and basically Shoto, he doesn't have to use All for One anymore to break his arms to try to beat him because he's able to actually overcome the ice. He's got the physical strength to do it. Granted, being hit by that ice would be problematic. Even in Kurama, even someone like Naruto or Kurama, getting hit by the sheer amount of ice that Todoroki could create, and when I say Kurama, I mean like one-tail Kurama chakra, you know what I mean. That would still hurt like hell and possibly injure Midoriya greatly or knock him out. So he's got to be careful about that. Still though, Shoto is able to keep up with him, even gets him in the ice points, and Shoto's like, he's trying to warm himself up. It's over as Midoriya is just kind of stuck in it. All of a sudden, just cracks. Are you only going to use your ice, Shoto? Todoroki, come on! You haven't actually put a Yeah, I haven't put one scratch on you yet. You haven't put a scratch. Look at me, Shoto. I'm still standing. We're all putting our lives on everything on the line here. If you're only using your half power, then what's the point? And obviously, it's like, did my dad put you out to this? I will show my father. It's your quirk! Yours! No one else's! And so, obviously, he has the flashback. It's like, when did I forget? And obviously, the fire comes out eventually. Now, again, I'm oversimplifying the fight a little bit, but yeah, that would still be the general. Just Shoto would still be able to keep him at bay relatively all right. And Midoriya ultimately has to go like the 2 tails to break out of the ice. And And Shoto obviously has the fire. You wanted my fire, Midoriya, so here it is. Ba-ba-ba-ba. They get the music going. Kurama, give me as much chakra as you can. You sure about this, kid? No regrets. And all of a sudden, Three Tails comes out. He even goes all the way. It's like, you want me to do it? No, I got to do this on my own. Oh, and then he goes full on, full cowling. And he can feel it. It's like he pushes it to the max. 10%. And then he's got that Kurama. It's like, you're not going to do what I think you're going to do. One blast! And nah, he's probably not going to do that. It's like, what? But he does do the Kurama thing where he basically makes the chakra hand and kind of just grabs the thing. Boom! And it's actually getting put. He says, this kid is something else. I got to give him that. Go beyond! Plus Ultra! And poof! Big explosion. And it is Shoto who got pushed back because Deku and out of the ring. And Shoto's like, unbelievable. And Deku's there, barely on the ring's edge, but his tails have got him glued there. He's like, oh, crap, that really hurt. But the winner is Izuku Midoriya! It's like, Meanwhile, everyone's watching. He just beat Shoto. Whoa! It's like, Deku, you little. Because he's just pissed. It's basically the Sasuke Naruto scenario again. How far have you come? And Midoriya's like, and Todoroki, but Todoroki still is able, gets over it, grabs it, like, Midoriya, thank you. No worries, Todoroki. Call me Shoto. They smile. And All Might's even proud. Not only did he win the match, he may have just saved that boy. And Devin's like, this boy, Shoto. And meanwhile, Midoriya's recovering as best he can. He is tired, though. Like, excess use of Kurama's chakra like this would still tire someone out, even Naruto, just because of the strain it would put on Midoriya's system here. And so you would then get the fight with him and Ida. That would be next. Midoriya, again, he's recovered enough to be, he's using full cowling so he can keep up. He's also been training a lot with Kurama for fighting stuff, so he actually is a better fighter here. So he ultimately does beat Ida. And then, wouldn't you know it, Bakugo versus Izuku. And they're squaring off. You. Then you were mocking me this whole time. I wasn't mocking. Bakugo, I wasn't mocking you. I train just like you do. We all get stronger. Like, now let's see what you got, loser! Boom! And just throwing off explosions. Midoriya immediately puts up at least the V. He can't go to V3 at this point. He's too exhausted even after everything else. But he could still go into like V1 at least. When I say V1, by the way, I mean like the tail. One tail. Can't go to 1-3 tail, but he can go to one tail. So that's where he's immediately gone. He's just, Unfortunately, he can kind of block off the heat. He can't block off the concussive blast of the blast. So he immediately just throws out hands. The hands start falling. Bakugo. So I don't know how you're able to do this. And the hands come off the hands. But you're not getting, I'm not going to let you win. All of a sudden, Midoriya just, it's like, I'm not going to lose to you anymore, Bakugo. And just smacks Bakugo hard. Bakugo prevents himself from going out of the ring by blasting the air, which gives Midoriya time to just make a clone. Just coming. Yeah. It's like, let's see how good you are without being able to target. Bakugo gets a kick in and headbutts him. Still pretty damn good, loser. And just they're clashing back and forth for a little bit. Kid, you want to try what I told you? It's like, are you sure that's gonna work? It's like one way to find out. And he just finally come on. And Bakugo's like, it's over, Midoriya! And everyone's looking at that. He's gonna waste that kid. Because Midoriya's now just like, he basically just channels all of his Vine Tail chakra back into his palm. And lo and behold, a red Rasengan is there. And just, boom! Just kind of like, it's big because he's got all the chakra there. Blows up. And Midoriya's arm kind of just goes dead because that didn't quite work. Yes, the plan was for me to throw it with my arm, kid, the chakra arm, not for you to hold on to it. Ah, crap. And Midoriya's just there. His arm said, well, my arm's already blown up. So, and then Bakugo lands on the ground. All of a sudden, he just sees Midoriya just, boom, and just pops him out of the ring. And so Midoriya's like, the winner is Izuku Midoriya! And so Bakugo's like, I lost. You little. And So that is ultimately the end of the sports festival. So that's it. So that's the end. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And I'll see you next time.